Hi everyone, it's Rman here, and today I will be analyzing this month's Ninja banner and ranking all the units on the banner based on their performance. And as usual, I will talk about some of my other thoughts at the end of the video. So before I begin, I just want to mention that although this banner is very good and it has great value, you just want you just need to remember that FEH just released their November calendar, and the November Legendary Mythic Emblem banner is coming in just a few days. On this, the banner analysis, the banner trailer will come on the 15th of November probably, and the banner will come on 16th of November. So it will come very quickly and not at the end of the month. So really, that means Mythic Valley and Mythic Alfor might bring more crazy power creep in just a few days, and so you really just want to be on the lookout and save orbs if you only have limited orbs left, which most of us do have limited orbs left only. So unless you are pay to win, then sure, you don't need to care and spend all your orbs. But for the free to play players or people who don't want to pay to win, you really should try and save your orbs and see what the November LMB banner has to offer, and think before really spending orbs on any banner. So first we will talk about Ninja Female Shez. So Ninja Female Shez is a great nuke, and she has okay base stats. She has 25 true damage with 29 flat DR plus 40% unpierceable DR and an extra 40% pierceable DR. So her flat DR is actually pretty good. She's pretty tanky for a ranged nuke, and however, her true damage is not the greatest, but she makes up for that with her conditional Omni effectiveness, which really it triggers against almost all enemies except when if she initiates against non-dragon or non-beast infantry unit, then she needs a whole lot more speed to get her conditional Omni effectiveness. And you need to know that the conditional Omni effectiveness gives her an extra gives her extra damage, and it boosts her damage by 1.5. So if you multiply 25 by 1.5, you can see that her true damage actually is about 37.5, I think. And that means even though that she has originally her true damage is not the greatest, only 25, with her conditional Omni effectiveness she can get more true damage, and she doesn't need as much true damage to do the same amount of damage that most of the good range nukes are doing. And she also has Brave, she also has no follow up, and all of the things that she needs in order to become a good range nuke. So really, Ninja Female Shez, although her true damage may not seem very good, but together with her conditional Omni effectiveness, she actually does quite a lot of damage when you took a look, and if you only look at her base stats. And because most of the meta far saves are slow, are not speed type units, unless you're talking about Emblem Corrin, but other than Emblem Corrin, which is a magic far save, so Ninja Female Shez will likely not go up against her most of the time, but there's maybe some cases you will if Emblem Corrin is only a far save, not a magic save. But excluding that, Ninja Female Shez is most likely going up against the Legendary Black Knight, Fallen Female Elir, or even some other older far saves. And she against those far saves, she actually does her job very well, and she destroys Legendary Black Knight easily because of her Omni effectiveness and her weapon triangle effectiveness. So really, her base kit allows her to deal with the legendary Black Knight quite consistently, and as seen in the trailer, she can actually deal with fallen female Alir as well, but she probably needs a little bit of support. If fallen female Alir has some extra support, such as dual morph support or other supportive units that give more flat DR. And then we can take a look at her other effects. And other than no follow up, she of course has Brave, but her Brave only triggers when she is initiating combat. So her Brave is not as good as other Brave units on this Ninja banner, but it still does the job of. It still fulfills her purpose as a ranged nuke for pretty well. And since Ninja female Shez will probably never want to Omni Tank, and she does not need Brave when tanking, but so this isn't that much of a problem. But of course, if she doesn't have dual phase Brave but other units have, she definitely is less good than those units who have dual phase Brave, but that's not too bad. And let's take a look at her debuff effects. So she splashes the after action debuffs Sabotage and Exposure and Speed Defense -7, so she can inflict exposure after her action. So that is really good. Sure, the mid-turn exposure debuff is quite useful even nowadays, because nowadays every damage you can stack up is just super important, and being able to spread the exposure status mid-turn is definitely appreciated. But of course there are other ways of doing this, but if Ninja female Shez can do it by herself, then yeah, that's great. But other than that, she doesn't really give any more supportive effects, and she only gives out these two debuff effects, so really her support is lacking, and her main thing that makes her good is her damage output. And for now she does her nuking job quite well, and she has her conditional on the effectiveness, so she really can do damage quite consistently. And as I have mentioned, she has no follow-up, and she has Brave attacks, so she is a really good speed range nuke that can kill consistently. And other than that, she also has the latest Comet special, so if she triggers her special, she would also deal a lot more damage because of the Comet special, which boosts damage by 200% more, and that just makes her damage output even better. So really her nuking power is definitely good, but I really fear that because she doesn't have a crazy niche, doesn't have crazy supportive effects, that if her damage output eventually will fall off because of power creep, then she will have no more use cases, because her support is not that great, and she does not have a personal niche. Her only personal niche is the conditional omni effectiveness, and I'm not sure that will keep her relevant in the meta. So that's my only one concern for this unit, and other than that, she mostly does pretty well as a ranged nuke for now. And she also has the Canto 2 and distance swap during Canto because of her new C skill, another version of distance swap, the Lookout Smog, which gives her of course distance swap at Canto 2, and basically gives her Omni Scowl and unconditional scowl when she initiates combat, and it also gives her some flat DR, which is great, and some attack and speed during combat. So she has a good C skill, so you might want to grab her as a fodder unit. Grab her for fodder, but mainly I think the main reason you will want to grab this unit is for her nuking potential, as she is an okay nuke. She's not bad at all. I think she is an A tier nuke because of her on the effectiveness, brave attacks, and her just consistent damage output. Really, her omni effectiveness is making her do a lot more damage than you would think, and of course her combat special also should be considered, although I'm not too sure how to count combat specials, but because Ninja Female Shez has the no guard effect, so I think she can trigger her special quite easily, and this is also because she has brave. So really, if she triggers her combat special, she would be doing a lot of damage. So for now, she is a really good range nuke that can do damage. So do not worry about that. But if you switch her B slot, which is for now it's only the Disarm Trap 4 skill. I'm not sure which Disarm Trap 4 skill she has, but it's only a Disarm Trap that gives no true damage. So if you switch her B slot to Speed Taker 4, then her damage output would be even better, and her nuking power can even surpass Brave Boulder as well if she gets her Omni Effectiveness extra damage, which is again a times 1.5 multiplier. So her true damage would actually be pretty crazy if she uses Speed Taker 4 as her B slot instead of the Disarm Trap skills, which give only 0 true damage. So really, if you don't need to test out either of these traps, then she really just wants the Speed Taker 4 skill. But because I mentioned that her conditional on effectiveness is only good against some non-infantry units, and if she goes up against non-dragon or non-beast infantry units, she needs a lot more speed, at least 20 more speed, in order to get her conditional omni effective damage. So if she is going up against some meta infantry speed omni tanks, such as Attune Ryoma, Legendary Diamond, Brave Male Byleth, etc., she might actually struggle because she cannot trigger her omni effective damage, and she may not have enough true damage to take out those meta's infantry speed omni tanks. So that's something you want to look out for, and this is precisely why I don't think Ninja Female Shez is an S tier range nuke, even though she has good true damage and even though she can get the Speed Taker 4 B skill, and yeah, even though she can get even more true damage from that B skill, she really still is missing some crucial unique factor and missing some OP-ness to make her an S tier nuke. So you can see where I ranked her as a range nuke. I have ranked her as an A tier range nuke because she does damage consistently, and she is definitely a good nuke to have on your offense teams or even on your defense if you want to use her as a defense unit. And she definitely deserves to be in A tier because she has brave and good true damage, omni effectiveness, etc. But against some specific matchups such as the infantry speed omni tanks such that I mentioned, she might struggle against those types of units because she cannot trigger her omni effective damage, and she would lose a lot of damage as a result. And so yeah, I just cannot put her in S tier, unfortunately, and I have to put her in A tier, right below Brave Sharina. And this is also because I usually consider their base kit when ranking their performance as a ranged nuke or melee nuke, etc. And because the Ninja Female Shez does not come with Speed Taker 4, and Speed Taker 4 is a really rare skill actually, and it costs 4 inherit slots, so I generally will not consider that Ninja Female Shez has Speed Taker 4 in in her kit, and so therefore, considering that she does not have crazy true damage, she is performing worse than Brave Sharina. And you can take a look at my range nuke tier list guidelines here, and here are the basic stats for the range nukes that are included in my tier list. And then we will talk about Ninja Yunaka. So Ninja Yunaka is a crazy nuke with crazy warping, amazing true damage with Brave, and amazing flat DR. And she also has no follow-ups, support, and debuff effects, which are must-haves for a good modern speed type range range nukes. And she also, one of her niches is that she has a colorless weapon triangle advantage. So that, and not to mention, her amazing true damage ranges from about 55. Yeah, she has a maximum of 55 true damage, and that is a lot of true damage. And if you consider that with her colorless weapon triangle advantage, she can destroy the meta colorless tank units such as Brave Egg and Halloween to Freya. So with her colorless weapon triangle advantage against those units, she can destroy them, and as well as with her crazy true damage, 55 true damage, and she also has Brave, so she really can defeat those colorless tanky units consistently, and she doesn't need a lot of support to destroy them, and that really just makes her a really valuable nuke, and she is definitely a very good range nuke in the game right now. And basically there's nothing bad to say about Ninja Yunaka. And if you take a look at her flat DR, you can also see that she has crazy flat DR. She has about a maximum of 37 flat DR plus 40% unpierceable DR, and that is with her base kit. And if you give her some different skills, such as the Lagoose Loyalty B skill, or I've seen someone put No See Avoid on Ninja Yunaka to make her more tanky, she could get like Omni Tank levels of flat DR if you change her B skill to those B skills I've mentioned before. Although you will lose some true damage, if you want her to like be an Omni Tank, you can definitely consider doing that. Giving those skills to Ninja Yunaka to change her into an Omni Tank, because her flat DR, her flat DR from the A skill and her private weapon are so crazy. It gives her a lot of flat DR. So this unit is so much more tanky than you think, and really that just adds on to show how good of a range nuke Ninja Yunaka is. And then moving on, let's mention a little bit about her support and debuff effects. So the support she gives is nothing too special, because she only gives the cooldown charge +1 support and the dodge support at start of both phases as a 2-space support, and she also gives the after action or after canto splash debuffs, which are the Discord. She splashes the Discord, Speed Shackle, and Defense Shackle debuffs on nearest foes and foes within 2 spaces of those foes. So her debuff effects and her supportive effects are not the main reason why she is crazy good. Her main reason why she is crazy good is, of course, her crazy warping effect, because she has the aided Yunaka warping effect, which allows her to basically have the aerial maneuvers warping when just. Well, she has a lot of conditions that allow her to have the aerial maneuvers warping. So you can basically just assume that Ninja Yunaka will have aerial maneuvers warping on anywhere within 2 spaces of her. So you can imagine that she is always going to warp near you if you give her a chance to attack. And that's how crazy her warping is. And yeah, that's why, and considering that she has Brave and no follow up, and crazy true damage. She really is just a really OP range nuke in the game right now. And she also, of course, she also has no guard, no cooldown +1 on the foe, and she also, of course, has pass, has has the healing, which is not too important, and she also has guard from her arc rival special, and she also comes with a new B skill, which is basically just the low finish skill, but another type of the speed defense version for that low finish skill. So basically, Ninja Yunaka is just super OP as a range nuke, and the only thing that she does not have is Kanto. So you might need to consider giving her some Kanto support if you want to use her as on a hit and run team, and you might want to give her Emblem Secret Ring or give her Legendary Sakura support in order to give her hit and run potential, because she does not have Kanto 2 or Distance Swap when you compare her to her aided version of herself. So be sure to remember that Ninja Yunaka is a bow unit now, and she does not have Kanto in her base kit, and you need to outsource that if you want to use her in hit and run teams, and that's the only thing that she is missing. But other than that, Ninja Yunaka has everything she needs as a range nuke, and she is definitely an OP range nuke, and you can see how high I rank her later. And although aided Yunaka, and yeah, I just want to mention that I'm so happy that Ninja Yunaka is this good, because I love Yunaka as a character, and I'm really happy that both of her Fate alts are both still very usable. And although I do agree that aided Yunaka needs some investment, but it's fine and she's still usable. And if you need a strong and reliable range nuke, you should definitely try and get a copy of Ninja Yunaka. And yeah, so you can take a look at how I rank Ninja Yunaka, and I rank Ninja Yunaka as the second best range nuke in the game right now, because Arena Grom is just too good. Arena Grom has Kanto from her crazy new status, so new status that gives plus 15 true damage in Kanto 2. He has extra action from his private assist, and he has like crazy amounts of true damage, as well as the killer factor of like the no miracle mid-turn debuff. So basically, and he also has desperation. So really, Arena Grom has everything in the world to just make himself like an unstoppable force. And he also gives like so much support effects, and because of Arena Grom, it just raises the value of a lot of other units. And the biggest example is that Arena Grom just made Somerset class so much better. Arena Grom, because he can give the bonus status he has on himself to someone else after he uses his private assist, and he can give the movement +1 to Summer Celica after he uses his assist if he has the Emblem Secret Ring equipped. And really, Summer Celica with the status, the private status to change fate. I'm not sure what the name of that status is, but basically Arena Grom gives that private status to himself and the ally that he repositioned after his private assist, and once Summer Celica gets movement +1 and that specific status that gives plus 15 true damage and gives Kanto 2, Summer Celica just becomes unstoppable because of her crazy free range style and her +1 movement as a cavalry unit. basically no one can stop Summer Salika after Arena Crom does her private assist on Summer Salika, and I'm sure everyone has faced that team in the latest Summer Duels R, and even Shez Shadow has made a video about how Arena Crom single-handedly just made Summer Salika so much better. And yes, I have to admit that Arena Crom is just still the most busted range duke in the game right now. As much as I don't want to admit this, Arena Crom is still just too good. And even though Ninja Yunaka has crazy warping, has brave, has everything, has crazy true damage, has crazy flat yard, has everything she would want as a range duke, she loses in the support category by a mile when compared to Arena Crom. And Arena Crom, because gives the mid-turn, spreads the mid-turn no miracle effect after his assist skill. It doesn't matter whether Arena Crom doesn't have brave. And also Arena Crom has desperation, so he kind of makes up for the fact that he doesn't have brave, but most importantly he spreads the mid-turn no miracle, and because of the no miracles mid-turn debuff, it really doesn't matter whether Arena Crom has brave or not. Even though Arena Crom does not have brave, because his true damage is so high, he can often just one-shot enemies, and together with his AoE, Arena Crom with that amount of true damage and with the no miracle effect, nobody can tank Arena Crom if he has done his private assist skill. And really, because Arena Crom has so much true damage, has no miracle mid-turn debuff, has so much support that he can give out, and to add that he can copy and give what bonuses he has on himself to the ally, he gives an assist. His value as a unit is never dropping as well, and that's so crazy. So basically, Arena Crom will remain on S tier until someone removes his bonuses somehow. Unless everyone becomes Mythic Loki, which I don't think IS will do that. So basically, until Mythic Loki becomes much more common, by IS, I don't know, miraculously somehow prints out so much more Mythic Loki effects that cleanse bonus effects. Until that happens, Arena Crom is still going to be S tier as a range duke for at least maybe a few months or even a year. And oh my god. And after facing Arena Crom plus Summer Salika teams in Summer Duels I'm a little bit I'm a little bit gagged. I don't know what to say about Arena Crom being this good. For me, I definitely have a personal preference of preferring Yunaka over Crom. So I do have to admit that I have a personal preference in here, but the fact that Arena Crom is just so much better than Yunaka really just hits hard. It really doesn't feel good to me. And yeah, unfortunately, Ninja Yunaka, even though she's this good, she is still not on the level as Arena Crom. Unfortunately, as much as I hate to admit this, Arena Crom is still better because of the no. Really, is mainly because of the mid-turn no miracle effect that just convinced me that yeah, Arena Crom is still better. I at first I tried to pretend that Ninja Yunaka is a better range duke as Arena Crom because Yunaka has brave and Crom does not, and maybe Yunaka can do better against miracle units than Arena Crom. But once I remembered that Arena Crom has the mid-turn no miracle debuff, it's no there's no more contest anymore. Arena Crom is just better. Although Arena Crom is like very glassy, he's just the best range nuke in the game right now, just because of his pure damage output and crazy ass support. And I fear that it will maintain this way until something even more OP comes, which I don't know what is more OP than Arena Crom. And I'm a little bit afraid to think about that. Yeah, that is something to think about. And so let's just leave it at that for now, and then we will talk about Ninja Hrid. So Ninja Hrid is an OP demo, and he is so good that I need to rate him as a normal 5-star unit and compare him with other 5-star melee nukes. So with his base kit, he already has great true damage of around 36, I believe, with Brave and as well, because he's on the Ninja banner, and he also has good flat DR with max around 26, and however, he does not have 40% unpierceable DR because he is a demote unit. So basically, if you want him to perform at a moderate level, then you would need to invest in him and give him competitive skills such as Haze Slice, Blue Skies 4 as an A skill, and the Outcry Doe as the C skill. Although there's only attack speed Outcry Doe right now. For now, is still the best skill that Ninja Hrid would like to get, and you can just give him reposition because the assist skill doesn't really matter. The assist plus skill costs more SP, but mainly you only want those assist plus skills if you're going to get him as a former unit, but this is clearly not the case. And you only want to use assist plus skills if you want to use those units in arenas, because arena counts the highest SP in scoring, so you want to use the highest SP skills. And so unless you want to use Ninja Hrid in arena, you don't need to use further any assist plus skills to him. And yeah, let's talk about Ninja Hrid's main gimmick. So Ninja Hrid's main gimmick is making ice around the closest foe with the lowest defense, and his main gimmick has a lot of use cases, and I've seen people use Ninja Hrid in the arena defense on AR defense, and because the Ninja Hrid will make ice around around closest foes. So basically, on a defense, if you use him on an AR defense, you would basically make more ice for the foe that they need to destroy before they can successfully player phase your team, or unless they want to omni tank your team. So unless they want to do that, it really just the extra ice from Ninja Hrid puts like more. It serves as an extra obstacle to Gale Force teams and hit and run teams that really require enough space to hit and run, or just enough space to Gale Force the enemy team in one turn and to initiate combat. So Ninja Hrid is definitely good on defense, AR defense, and Ninja Hrid is also good on summoner duels, because in summoner duels he will make the ice around the foe at the start of each turn. So once every turn starts, the opponent team during your SD will have to waste their actions to make ice themselves, to melt the ice that Ninja Hrid made, or they have to break the ice manually using one action. And usually in SD, using one action is making someone waste one action just so that they can move is very good. And yeah, Ninja Hrid, because of this gimmick of making ice without actions around the closest foes, will definitely make him a really relevant unit in the meta for quite a while, at least in SD. And of course, I think people will try and use him in Ifra's defense as well, and sometimes maybe even Ifra's offense if someone decides to build Ninja Hrid. And yeah, he Ninja Hrid is really OP as a D mode, and he is definitely a unit that is worth grabbing. You he is a really good value unit, and he I think and he will definitely being relevant in the meta at least at least for around 3 to 6 months, I think. And yeah, Ninja Hrid also has some. Ninja Hrid also gives the frozen debuff, which is a really good debuff status because it makes foes follow up. It really inhibits foes' ability to make a follow up attack because they need a lot more speed to do the follow up attacks. And the the frozen effects from any debuff skills are actually very good, and they definitely prove as an obstacle to making to the speed type nukes in the meta. And yeah, so let's rank him as a melee nukes. So as a Ninja Hrid, as a melee nuke is definitely not crazy because his base kit is definitely not optimal, and you definitely need to give him some better skills so that he will become a better melee nuke. And however, you can see that as a D mode with his base kit, he already ranks in B tier, and he is definitely a promising D mode if you think of it that way. And as a D mode, being able to rank on the melee nuke tier list and B tier is definitely an achievement, and I really think that Ninja Hrid is that shows how good Ninja Hrid is. So you can take a look at my melee nuke tier list guidelines here and the basic stat reference here, but you should remember that if you invest into Ninja Hrid and give him the best skills for a cavalry nuke right now, he will become an A tier nuke. So if you really want to use Ninja Hrid, you should definitely try and give him Haste Slice, Blue Skies 4, and Outcry Doe to stack up as much true damage as you can on him if you want to use him as a melee nuke to maximize his true damage and damage output, of course. And you can take a look at how high his highest performance would be as a melee nuke if you follow the build that I've shown just now. And finally, we will talk about Dual Ninja Gullveig. Dual Ninja Gullveig is a great nuke that has great true damage, about 41 with Brave. So she does a lot of true damage, and she also has amazing flat DR because she has 22 flat DR plus 60% unpierceable DR, and the extra 20% unpierceable DR really means that she basically has 40 something flat DR plus 40% unpierceable DR when you compare it to other nukes in the game. And yeah, that shows that Dual Ninja Gullveig actually has a lot of flat DR if she initiates combat, that is. And she also has really good supports, and notably she gives out 2 spaces Times Gate support and the Anathema support. So Times Gate allows your whole team to warp to each other as long as they are within 4 spaces, because someone with Times Gate will allow allies within 4 spaces to warp to spaces adjacent to that unit. So basically, you're giving your whole team Wings of Mercy 4, so all of your allies can warp close to you as long as they are within 4 spaces of you. And yeah, Timescape just allows your team to have so much more mobility, and is really good in Ephraim's offense. And Anathema is also a really good status effect, which is basically a stackable rain debuff on foes, so it's really good. And she also has the pass effect after her first combat in each turn. Therefore, dual Ninja Gullveig's self-gravity debuff during her extra actions is usually ignorable because she can have the she can warp near her allies, and she does not need to worry about warp bubble or any barricade or any other skills that stop warping because she has passed after her first combat. So she will make use of her times gate support to her allies, and she will make use of her extra actions without worrying about her self-gravity debuff after her first action. And basically, Dual Ninja Gullveig is a largely improved Dual Summer Gullveig, like Rman Soren, and I have nothing bad to say about her as a unit, except that she again has no Kanto, and we can see that intelligence systems is not creative, and of course her true damage is definitely not S tier true damage, so you don't need to worry about Dual Ninja Gullveig destroying your far saves. And if Dual Ninja Gullveig destroyed enemy far saves and had like 20 more true damage, then she would be pretty game breaking at that point. But thankfully she is not breaking the game right now, but even so, she is a really good Gale Forcer, and of course she is a really good range nuke, and she will most likely Gale Force your whole Ether Race defense if you're not making your Ether Race defense a good Ether Race defense. And you will probably see a lot of Dual Ninja Gullveigs destroying your defenses if you are not building your defense well enough. And because she has so many extra actions, her not having Kanto is definitely a small problem, and it will not affect her too much. And so let's get straight to ranking her right away, and I rank her as an A tier range nuke because at the second top of A tier, because her damage output is really good. She has Brave, she has 41 true damage with Brave, and she has a lot of flat DR. And if you compare her base stats to Brave Sharina, you can see that Dual Ninja Gullveig definitely has just better stats as Brave Sharina. and yeah, Dual Ninja Gullveig is definitely a better range nuke than Brave Sharina, and she definitely deserves to be in A tier. And why I rank her lower than Rman Soren is because Rman Soren is blue and Dual Ninja Gullveig is colorless, so Rman Soren can use his weapon triangle advantage against the legendary Black Knight and Emblem Corrin, which are both red units. And when you compare that to colorless Dual Ninja Gullveig, you can see that Dual Ninja Gullveig does not have weapon triangle advantage against the common meta far saves that most people are running in the game right now, which are the legendary Black Knight and Emblem Corrins. And so basically, being blue gives Rman Soren the slight advantage over Dual Summer Gullveig for now. And also Rman Soren also has better supportive effects than more better debuff effects, I should say. His support effects, his private assigned decoy niche will not be counted as a support. It's more of a niche. And if you look solely, if you compare solely between Rman Soren and Dual Ninja Gullveig's support effects, then I think that Dual Ninja Gullveig may have better support effects than Rman Soren because she gives out the time skate bonus status and the better anathema status effects when compared to Rman Soren, which only gives out a few not too consequential bonus status effects other than the assigned decoy twin, of course. And what really makes Rman Soren better is really his color type, and the fact, basically because Rman Soren is a blue unit, he also has a bit more true damage than Dual Ninja Gullveig. So as a ranged nuke, which I rank the ranged nuke, the most important factor for my ranking of the ranged nuke is their damage output. So Rman Soren has a better damage output than Dual Ninja Gullveig most of the time. So I ranked Rman Soren one slot higher than Dual Ninja Gullveig, and yeah. So here are my range nuke tier list guidelines, and here are my basic stats references for the range nukes. And finally, I also want to mention the free Tempest Trials units, Ninja Male Shez. Ninja Male, I want to mention him for one reason, because he has an OP inheritable axe, and I don't think anyone is talking about it right now. And his weapon literally gives Brave the most true damage, 15 true damage. Not the most true damage, but a lot of true damage, 15 true damage, and the most flat DR for an inheritable axe. It gives 15 true damage, gives 10 flat DR, and gives Brave for an inheritable axe. So it really just easily makes it the best inheritable axe in the game right now, and it's definitely better than Spring Air Axe Plus, Arena Axe Plus, or even Arcane Giant Axe as well, if considering the fact that it gives Brave and it gives 15 true damage and 10 flat DR. And because Arcane Giant Axe only gives 15% of gives true damage and flat DR based on 15% of the unit's attack, you would need to have a lot of attack in order to provide more true damage than this Ninja Kakrams Plus from Ninja Male Shez. And really, Ninja Male Shez inheritable axe is just so much better than Arcane Giant Axe, and it requires much less investment in order for the inheritable axe to be good. And most importantly, it gives Brave, period. And Brave is a really good effect for an inheritable axe. And the fact that you don't need to run Emblem Erica Ring on your invested units, on the units that you invest with this axe, really just allows them to run other emblem rings instead. And I think that really just shows how good this Ninja Kakrams inheritable axe is. And as you can see, I rank his inheritable axe as the top of S tier, because there's really no competition between his inheritable axe and other inheritable axes in the game right now. And even if you're not a speed nuke, you would still want to use this weapon, because the Brave effect from this weapon occurs for both phases, and it gives unconditional Brave. So even if you are building an Omni tank, because the 10 flat DR from this inheritable axe is unconditional. So, and it also is not only on the first attack. The 10 flat DR is on all attacks. So basically, this inheritable axe is very good even for your axe Omni tanks that you're trying to build. And yeah, there's really no reason you will want to run any other inheritable axes in the game right now. And you should definitely fodder Ninja Male Shez to your favorite axe units. And yeah, that's what I want to say. And for my really finally, here are my final thoughts on the banner. And yeah, okay, I just had to summon for my girls, Gullveig and Yunaka, because I love them and their art is amazing. Period. And no one can argue with me about that. And of course, IS just decides to put the November Legendary Mythic Emblem banner, LME banner, in the middle of the month. Immediately after I spent all of my hours trying to get Dual Ninja Gullveig and Ninja Yunaka. Thankfully, I got them both. I got both of them, thankfully. But the fact that IS just decides to put both of them, to put the November LME banner right after I've used all of my orbs. Classic IS. But it's fine. I just needed to rant a little bit about that. And anyways, I also want to yap a little bit about the unit choices of this Ninja banner. And as a Gullveig and Yunaka fan, I definitely won easily. But I guess IS could have been more creative with Dual Ninja Gullveig's movement type instead of giving him cavalry and instead of giving her like cavalry plus a dual summer Gullveig Gale Force again. But I guess IS did give her Times Gate support, so that is something new, and I think that is a little bit more creative, and I'm content with what they went for Dual Ninja Gullveig. And this could be my personal preference interfering, but yeah, I think they did a little bit better with Dual Ninja Gullveig than they did with Rearm Soren, which is basically just a copy pasta, like an improved Soren, improved Brave Soren, and really no extra effects, unless you count those debuff effects as extra effects. But really, it's not even a new debuff effect. It's just Discord, all those common debuff effects that you can see anywhere from any modern units. So really, I think IS did a little better with Dual Ninja Gullveig than Rearm Soren. So I'm content with Dual Ninja Gullveig. But again, maybe this may be because that I prefer Dual Ninja Gullveig over Soren. So this could be my personal preference interfering, but really I think they did a little bit better with Gullveig than with Soren. That's what I'm trying to say. And Ninja Yunaka, on the other hand, they copied the aided Yunaka warping to Ninja Yunaka. At least Yunaka is a different weapon type, and Ninja Yunaka is now a bow unit instead of a dagger unit. So that's really, honestly, that's very fresh, and that's what I like about the newest Ninja Yunaka, and that's what differentiates between AD Yunaka and Ninja Yunaka. That the fact that Ninja Yunaka is a bow unit and AD Yunaka is a dagger unit and has the Kanto 2 and active Lookout C skill instead of the Speed Way Forward from the Ninja Yunaka, who is a bow unit instead. And yeah, I really like the small changes they did with Ninja Yunaka, and I really like Ninja Yunaka, how they made Ninja Yunaka, and I have no complaints about Ninja Yunaka. And yeah, so basically I also like the Ninja Shez, female Shez's art. Ninja female Shez's art, at first I was a little bit unsure about how to feel about her real design, her real looking artwork, but the more I look at her and more after I've gotten used to the art, I think I like her design. Like the art of Ninja female Shez is looking, I think I've grown accustomed to it, and I think it's pretty good, and I like it a lot. So the art with this banner is crazy good as usual, and Ninja Hrid, they really went all out on Ninja Hrid, as a D mode, and the fact that they made him a D mode is honestly very surprising. And and Ninja Hrid is definitely not a normal D mode. Like, he is a normal 5-star unit. He's that good, but somehow IS decided to make him a D. And yeah, so that's all I want to say about this banner. And don't forget that you should try and save orbs and take a look at what IS decides to cook with the midpoint LME banner that's coming in like literally a few days. And yeah, be sure to look out for that. And I not sure whether I can make a video on that banner, but I'll decide. I'll take a look at the situations later, because I am a little bit busy, so I'm not sure if I have enough time to make a video on the upcoming LME banner, but I will keep you guys updated, so stay tuned. And thank you so much for watching till the end of the video, and subscribe to see more videos like this. Goodbye.